What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Noah Hiles and Colin Beazley coming to you after yet another Pirates series loss, a series sweep to the Phillies. They lose all three games over the weekend at the bank. The series sweep was concluded Sunday with a 1-0 loss, despite Paul Skenes giving, probably top 5 performances of his career. First complete game, 8 innings of 1-run ball. What was it? 3 hits, Colin?
3 hits.
3 hits. On this road trip, what did he throw? 14 innings, and he allowed 2 runs.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I hadn't even added the New York stats to it.
And he went 0-1 with a no decision in those outings. He wasn't the only one who got robbed of a really good performance this series, this road trip. And I think that that's just the point here. To peel back the curtain to everybody watching and listening, Colin and I normally, you know our format. We try to do like 3 big takeaways. We try to lock in on like the biggest stories here. It's kind of getting to a point where we can't do that. I mean, we could, sure, you want us to talk about Bryan Reynolds struggling for a couple of games? Or not for a couple of games, struggling for a long time and then maybe turning it on for a couple of minutes. We could do that, or we could talk about Horwitz coming back. But like the reality of this team is this road trip completely captured, however you want to say it, this season as a whole. They got great pitching in 5 of those 6 games. In 5 of those 6 games, their starting pitcher gave them a chance to win. Actually, the only game that they won, they didn't necessarily get great pitching from Bailey Falter, but he didn't allow a run. And then the other day that they got bad starting pitching was from a guy who shouldn't be starting major league games. But from the guys that belong in a starting rotation, they were good enough to win every single time. But the recurring theme here was the rest of this team was not good enough. And to make it even more fitting for this year, they're coming off of a nice series win the weekend prior against the Braves. Some Donnie Kelly magic, right? Where you thought maybe the vibes would change. And that's also very appropriate for this season because anytime something positive, something exciting happens, this team sucks the life right out of you. And that's just the harsh truth here. It's not good enough. No matter how good its best players perform, they are simply underwhelming in the talent department. And we saw that in 6 games on the East Coast against 2 teams who have a lot of talent, who invest in offense, who develop offense. And despite not hitting the ball well against Pittsburgh's pitching, they found ways to win because they're simply better. Colin, I've ranted for 3.5 minutes. I'm going to pass the platform to you now.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You're seeing the same things that I was seeing in Philadelphia, I was seeing in the clubhouse, I was seeing when speaking to Don Kelly and others around this team. There were certainly some positives in the Braves series. It felt like maybe some things would flip. Heck, even the Mets series. Yes, they won 1 of 3, but it was 1-run games, and then the 4-0 shutout. They played some really, really good baseball in that Mets series. We didn't really get the chance to talk about it here, even though, but there was some positivity here in this Philadelphia series. It really was the same old Pirates that we've seen this year. First game, they were in it for 6 innings. They pitched well. It was a close game, just all collapsed in that 7th inning with a whole bunch of walked-in runs and, frankly, just giving the game away with a whole bunch of free passes. Yesterday, not a good start from Carmen Mlodzinski. Not very much fight. No offense to speak about until Reynolds' 2-run home run at the very end, and that didn't even do anything other than change the final score and prevent another shutout. Today, Paul Skenes was excellent. he was really, really, really good. I used 3 reallys in my 3 takeaways. He gave up 3 hits. He gave up 1 run. He struck out 9. He was better than the box score said, which is impressive because, again, he gave up 3 hits and 1 run. But offense just couldn't find a way to hit Mick Abel, couldn't find a way to hit the 3 Phillies relievers. When I walked in that clubhouse at the end of the game, or after the game, it was easily the most dead I've seen of the Don Kelly era. It still didn't feel the same way that it felt in some of the darker days, the Derek Shelton era. But that was a very, very down clubhouse because they know what their starting pitcher, their best player, Paul Skenes, gave them. And they know that they weren't able to do anything with it. They wasted a really, really, really good performance from Paul Skenes because they weren't able to hit 4 different Phillies pitchers, including one who was making his major league debut today.
Yeah, and what's ironic is we've heard over the last month or so, 2 months, part of the problem is not being healthy. Well, this series they had O'Neal Cruz, they had Spencer Horwitz. They're getting healthier.
I'll cut you off there a little bit. O'Neal Cruz, he's not healthy. He had 9 at-bats in this series. He struck out 8 times. Even if his swing is looking better, I just
think that's a product of him missing.
Healthy enough to play, but
that
did not look like a 100% O'Neal Cruz.
Well, I would just counter by saying that's a product of him not playing baseball for a week. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know if his lower back is resulting in him swinging and missing. It just might be he's been out of commission for a little bit. But that's still a fair point. But I think the grand scheme of things is, they talked about how guys need to get better coming into this season. They haven't. Henry Davis is not a better baseball player, at least at the plate, than he was last year. Jack Sawinski, so far, and I'll give that caveat to Henry too, is not a better baseball player than he was last year. Brian Hayes, to his credit, has stayed healthy. And he's hitting for a better average, but it's worth questioning if he's ever going to hit for an above average OPS again in his career. The guys that they needed to be better just simply aren't better on the offensive end of this game. And then when you look at the guys that they bring in, Tommy Pham, not good enough. Adam Frazier, not good enough. And these are big picture things, I get it. But I'm bringing this up because this is the worst offense under the Cherington regime. Statistically. Through 47 games, they have scored 141 runs. In 2020, where they went 19 and 41, or 30, 41, 31?
41.
31. 19 and 41. They scored 173 runs in their first 47 games. 157 runs in their first 47 games in 2021. In 2022, 161 runs in their first 47 games. Those teams lost 100 games, Colin. So this offense is worse. Those stats, I'll give them a shout out. North Shore 9 posted that. They are inexplicably bad. And sure, O'Neal Cruz is going to be better than what he was this series. Brian Reynolds will eventually... I don't think Brian Reynolds is going to hit 200 this year. I don't think he's going to hit 270. I don't think he's going to have a 120 OPS plus. He'll be better. Nick Gonzalez is going to be back. And Spencer Horwitz, he'll find a rhythm. It's still not good enough. And it's clear. And what we saw Sunday is going to be the case for the remaining 115-ish games remaining, which is quite frankly just a waste of everyone's time. I think we can end on that unless you have anything else to say, Colin.
I think that closes it off better than I could have said it.
It's frustrating to watch, but we know you're going to keep following along because that's just how baseball works. When you love it, you can't quit it. And we're going to be there to cover it. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And keep reading our coverage at post-gazette.com. He's Colin Beazley. I'm Noah Hiles. We'll see you tomorrow. They're back in Pittsburgh.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.